I think it's hard not to compare yourself to other people. Hey, buddy. It's something I've been struggling with lately. Maybe not consciously, but I've been feeling a lot of anxiety and imposter syndrome. I see a Shinx, and I've been wanting to catch this little guy for a while, but I've been kind of holding off. I've been letting him run around a little bit, just watching him. He's very, very cute. I don't know if what I did last video, where I just kind of talked about life and philosophy and growth, is something that people are super interested in or not at this point. But I've been thinking a lot lately and having some kind of insights and breakthroughs. Nice. I'm very excited about that catch. Having some insights and breakthroughs and kind of just feeling a sense of returning, maybe is the right way to say it. Back in 2019, I was really happy. I was with it. I had published a book of poetry. I put on 3 different poetry events with some really wonderful people from all over the world. And I was traveling constantly. I mean, I think there were only maybe 3 months that whole year where I wasn't leaving the state. This guy is so big. And one thing that I really, really miss from that time is how happy I felt, how secure I was in myself and my friendships and my relationships. A funny thing happened during the pandemic. I feel like this is probably true for everybody, but for myself especially, I've noticed that I don't have a lot of that same confidence that I used to. A lot of the joy that I felt and the certainty that I felt about the world kind of evaporated up in smoke with, 2.5 years of isolation. And I have so many wonderful people in my life, so many beautiful friends who have made every day such a joy and a pleasure to be here for. But I lost something pretty heavy in that time. Something that I don't even think I was aware of. It was such an insidiously silent departure from my daily life. And that, I think, is the community that I had built with the people that I cared about. Now, I have friends. I have so many beautiful, amazing friends in my life that I feel incredibly lucky and blessed to know. Each one of them teaches me something almost daily in different ways, and I am constantly growing and becoming a better person because of them. But what I lost is a sense of community, I think. And we touched on this just a little bit last time, where in Diary of a CEO, Jimmy Carr had mentioned that he misses religion because religion gave him a community. It was a sense of belonging and togetherness that was hard to come by. And I had a group of friends, and that's kind of like why Jimmy places such a huge value on friendship, he was saying. And I had a group of friends who I hung out with all the time, who I shared with on the daily, who I spent as much time with as possible. And throughout the pandemic, I noticed that kind of fell apart pretty rapidly. People went their own ways. They spent their time as they did. You know, many people came to new hobbies and new interests during the pandemic. Many people discovered parts about themselves that terrified them. Crippling anxieties and fears suddenly manifesting. For me, I feel like I lost a lot of my friends, and that's okay. I'm not here to give like a sappy, sad story about that or anything. I just am aware of it, I think, and can see that and honor that without attaching too heavily to it. We all come together in our lives and walk for a time. And sometimes that time is long and sometimes that time is short. But inevitably, I have this philosophy that we end up walking alone. Not in like a morbidly sad way or anything like that, but just we all have our own journey, our own path, our own ways of falling. And as much as we want to cling to the idea that people will be in our lives and close with us forever, I think it's much healthier to deeply understand that that is not the case. Circumstance has a funny way of pulling people apart. And that doesn't mean, that the people that you love are going to leave you or anything like that. Don't try not to get what I'm saying wrong. I'm not explaining it super well. What I really mean is the people that are in our lives are external, right? We cannot place our happiness and our sense of worth and belonging in other people. It has to be found within ourselves. Now, we can and absolutely should foster a sense of community and a sense of belonging, and even, I would say, identity in a group of people. But we absolutely need to be careful not to place our entire self into that group. And that's what I did. That's what I'm learning that's what I did. I put myself in my community, and when that community crumbled due to circumstances outside of our control, I was left feeling a little empty and a bit like a wanderer or a nomad who has no real home anymore. And I still kind of feel that way. And I think it's important to talk about this because I know I'm not the only person who's been going through this. I used to come home in the pandemic, right? I'd come home and I'd play games with my friends and we'd chat on Discord every day, every night. And we'd try to maintain a sense of connection despite how separate we were kind of forced into becoming. But that was even sort of just supposed to be a temporary thing, right? When the pandemic first started, before we were told we need to shelter in place kind of thing and be careful and wear a mask and everything, which we did, of course. But before that happened, we were meeting almost daily. Anytime I was around, anytime I was in town, we'd just be together. We'd go out walking in the woods. We'd hang out at somebody's house. And I think it's important to know and to see that it's completely normal for friend groups like that to kind of fall apart. Maybe that's not what I'm trying to say. I think it's increasingly important in today's world, now that we are kind of returning to some sense of normalcy, to recognize that a lot of those relationships have changed. And like I said, we can't really put all of our identity and value in other people. We have to have a sense of a strong sense of who we are as a self. What I'm learning is that I still have not returned to a community. I still have not rebuilt a community. What the heck is this guy? A Surisham, level 42. It's throwable. I still have not returned to a community. I haven't created a new community. I gave up, maybe. You know, I became a husband and then a father, and I have this job that is completely cushy and wonderful, and you know, it's an 8 to 5, but I come home and I feel pretty exhausted, just mentally and emotionally at times because of the work. And that's not a bad thing, but it does leave me feeling like I don't have time. You know, I come home and I help take care of my son, and soon my daughter as well. And then I have moments like this where I can spend, you know, an hour or two here and there playing a video game. But I think the problem becomes I don't necessarily feel like I have the energy to play games with other people, if that makes sense. I feel like much of the free time that I gain is just spent catching up and unwinding. And so I haven't had time to, or at least that's what we tell ourselves, I haven't had time to create a new community or to find a new community to belong to. And that's been very detrimental to not just my health, but my mental health, my physical health, like entirely relating to my health. It's been extremely damaging. And so I've kind of decided that this is the time, right? I'm aware of it, and I'm ready to make some changes in my life and maybe give some more of myself to the people I care about, to really make an effort to see them and spend time with them and regain a sense of community. However that looks. You know, I have my friends who like to play games still, and maybe that's the move. Maybe it's as easy as just on the weekends, you know, it's Friday right now. Maybe on the weekends I just dedicate more time and I say, hey, from, you know, 9 p.m. to midnight, I'm with you guys. Let's hang out. Let's play some games. Let's belong together. Maybe that's the way. I don't know. I'm still looking for an answer, and if you have an answer, let me know. I know that at different times in my life, maybe I would have tried to go and join some kind of a club, or join some kind of extracurricular activity. Many of my friends are so talented and beautiful and kind that I'm sure I could easily slip into any one of their communities and find happiness and belonging. But then there's always another side that feels like I want my own community. I want my own group of people that I handpick, I guess. It's the tribe mentality, right? We want to belong to something else. And we need to belong to something else. We need to be part of a tribe. We are not designed to be solo creatures. So I guess in the end, I want to focus on building a community. I want to focus on creating a community of really great people that I can have, not necessarily in my corner, but that I can build core memories with and turn to, and let them turn to me and rely on one another. I think I've missed that most. I didn't really intend for this one to become another video like this, but if this is something that you like, yeah, let me know. I'm not opposed to sharing my thoughts and the things that I'm learning and growing through with the channel. This channel is Peaceful Pixels. Yeah, and however that looks, however that changes as we continue to make videos and continue to find our footing, I guess. I'm not... Can I climb these? No, okay. However that looks, I'm not complaining. I'm happy to share random insights and steps of my journey with you, if that's something you're interested in. If it is something you're interested in, please let me know. Leave a comment. That kind of thing. I hate asking people to comment and subscribe and stuff because it feels so inauthentic to who I am. I think it's the most funny thing is that even now, I'm over here struggling to say subscribing is the best thing you can do to support me at this early stage. Because like I want to keep making videos and I want to keep growing and learning and sharing these little quasi philosophical things with you. And I'm happy to do so if it feels good. I have gotten a lot of really good feedback and great suggestions and really heartwarming messages. And I think that that's really awesome. And I want to keep doing this and sharing my experiences with you and, you know, making things that are peaceful and relaxing and hopefully maybe a little bit educational. Maybe not. But hopefully. I don't actually know if these goat horns are useful for much. It says sing. Oh. No, I think that... I don't know what this does. If you know, let me know. I've learned that what I need most in life right now is a community of people who I can contribute something to and I can draw from when I need a little pick-me-up myself. I've got so many wonderful and beautiful people in my life that I am so incredibly lucky to call my friends. And I think it's time to rebuild those communities. I think it's time to put in the extra effort and try again. Wherever you are, whenever you are, I hope that life finds you well. If you're struggling with something, reach out. Reach out to a loved one or a friend or to me, even if that feels good. I'm not going to judge. I feel like I'm here to share these experiences, and interestingly, like I said in the last video, I am learning quite a bit about myself in the process and learning to be kinder and gentler to myself. I hope that you have friends and loved ones in your life that you can turn to. I hope that you have a community of people, whether that be a club or a Discord server that you really enjoy, or a church, or whatever it may be, that helps you foster connection and joy and enrich your life.